Hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening. Hope the mics work. I hope they don't sound completely awful. They may. I don't know. I keep bouncing back and forth between here and the couch. So it's always just wacky. Bring this here.
Good evening. Yo. You've got a mustache.
I know.
That was probably the funniest fucking part.
We watched Hot Fuzz. Me for the first time in over 10 years, and Bridget for the first time ever, and that reaction's out tomorrow. But tonight is a night to return to Game of Thrones. Now, for you guys, it's been like 2 days. Most of you, at least. If you're on the Patreon, it's been a couple weeks. Almost. And if you're us, it's been about, yeah, a couple weeks. So we have had time to digest, to choke it down, to watch other reactions, to be mad, to be hurt. For 2 days, I woke up with just the worst visions. The first day of Rob's head on a horse. I mean, Rob's wolf's head on a horse. Rob's wolf's head on his body on a horse. And then the next day, I woke up to the vision of Catelyn Stark's screams.
Oh, God.
A moment I didn't even witness the first time because I just dove away. I believe as it happened, my headphones were here. By the time the screen went black, I was over here. Because I think it's been a long enough time in this stream. Fuck you guys! It's alright, I love you guys.
I can't fucking believe it. I can't. I still can't.
It's too much. It was too much.
Who the fuck does that? Who
You know
writes
what?
that shit?
This reminds me.
I need to read the book. I heard it's worse.
Dude,
I
I love the differences between the books and all people keep telling us. Because it makes me want to hear the book, read the books. It makes me concerned that if he'll ever finish the books. And then it makes me wonder about potential future new adaptations and if they could go more book accurate with a lot of the characters, because a lot of the characters sound crazy. Tyrion in the book, way different.
Did he like lose his nose or something?
He has like no nose, and he's not, you know, things were not going well for him. Oh no, where is it? I have to open up the digital map for tonight as well.
Why wouldn't he finish them?
Double check.
Get on it. Come on.
Oh no.
What?
That's not right.
Oh shit.
Hold on. I have it. I just. Now I have to relabel everything.
When are we gonna start season 4? Great question, because I want to. We have a lot to watch.
Tonight we're watching Across the Spider-Verse. We missed it in theaters intentionally so we could watch it now. So I'm looking forward to that. But the plan is actually to start watching the next couple days some Game of Thrones, and for next Tuesday, the 15th, episode 1 to be posted. I would like to post it Sunday, but we'll see if we actually get it watched in time. Also, Spider-Verse is going to be a very long edit.
Do I get my hair done professionally? Only cuts. I will not cut my hair, but I will color and damage the shit out of it.
I will destroy the shit
I'm
out
already
of it
planning my next do. Okay. I love it. I love it.
Do you want to tell them what it's going to be, or are you split on it?
It's funny.
Thank you. Fire joke. If you guys have some additions that we missed on our digital board, feel free to link up in the Discord. I need to add Roose Bolton for sure. I need to find the guy, what was he? The like Blackbird or something? I don't think that was it, but the guy, her uncle, the guy who actually survived and escaped from the Red Wedding.
Oh, the one that got married. No.
Well, he's alive too, I believe. Because I think he just spent the night in the dungeon, as far as we know.
That's right.
I think he's alive, but the one guy got away, they said. And it's been 2 weeks, so now I do forget his name. Blackfish. That makes more sense. They were fish people, right? Yeah, I need Blackfish and Roose Bolton. We're gonna double check where all the characters are, but first we're gonna go through the season 3 history and lore. Gonna be a real fun time.
You're all for coloring your own hair. My mom was a hairstylist, so she taught me a lot about that. I feel like I'm a pro on my own hair.
In my mind.
In my mind. I want to eat this sucker so bad.
Dude, I want a sucker. I bought myself suckers. I had one. They're all gone. The fuck?
It's me and Aubrey. Can't help it.
I know that we can watch the histories and lore for the season before we watch the season, technically. But I prefer it this way.
Who are we rooting for now? Fucking no one but Sansa. I don't know.
Wait, who are we rooting for? We're rooting for Rob. No.
Don't say his name.
We're rooting for Jon.
Yeah.
I don't want Bran to die, although I still don't really know where that's gonna go. Sansa, I feel bad for. Dude. I like Tyrion. Also Daenerys.
Oh, fuck yeah.
She's just liberating people. Although, yeah, she should just become the Queen of Essos. Or whatever the fuck it's called. That's neither here nor there. There are Starks. The Starks... I don't know where the fuck Arya's gonna go. But, let's... we gotta watch a long movie tonight. So I
can't... I wanna watch the show.
I do too. I want to get into the season 3... histories and lore, and then at the end, afterwards, we will update the map, and we will talk about season 3 a little bit before getting into season 4. Before we end. Oh, the Hound! I didn't realize till after we watched it, and I was editing, that the Hound is in Hot Fuzz, and that just blew my fucking mind. And I wish you guys, I wish you guys could see my reaction to me finding that out, and I feel so bad I didn't do it while watching. But whatever, neither here nor there. Where's that coming from? You shut up.
We also, yeah.
All right, we got to check the microphones. Check the...
For 300 years.
Check 1, 2.
We're going to go into watch mode. Dude, I blows my mind. My brother was just over, and then much like when I told him we were watching the last 2 episodes of season 3, I said we're gonna start watching season 4, and he's like, "Oh, tonight can I watch?" He just wants to watch us from afar as we record. He's like, "Can I just sit in room live studio audience while you're
just live?" Yeah.
He knows what's gonna happen, so I don't.
Right.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Let's get into it. Like the stream.
Control the spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. Please, I guess. I'm going to be watching and not reading for a bit anyway. See, usually these histories and lore will give us some more background and understanding of what we've just seen. Oh, we haven't even talked about Theon yet. Oh, God. We'll talk about that with the character updates.
For 300 years, the Targaryen dynasty ruled Westeros. Wars were still fought, homes still burned, and men still died. But compared to the chaos of what came before, the realm was stable.
And boring. The Targaryens lied, thieved, and killed as much as other lords.
Did you have a comment? You look like you had a comment already.
Me? No. That's just really sour, and I don't want to have a sour face.
You what?
Go ahead.
There's my last
red
one.
I got it.
I like the green apple.
I'll eat it later.
Stable's not necessarily good, is it? I mean...
The Targaryens lied, thieved, and killed as much as other lords. They just had dragons to answer all complaints. Until they didn't. When the last dragon died, it was only a matter of time before the Targaryens followed.
By only, you mean another century?
Which they wasted trying to replace their lost advantage. incinerating their own palaces to hatch dragon eggs, drinking wildfire to become dragons, and let's not forget the Mad King's favorite, burning men alive so he could pretend to be a dragon.
We urged Aerys to pardon Brandon Stark. The boy had threatened Prince Rhaegar, but Rhaegar had stolen the boy's sister. And the boy was the eldest son of our Warden of the North.
Who's the greater fool, a Mad King or the man who reasons with him? Aerys saw knives in every shadow. When you told him to treat the Starks with caution, you made him afraid. And what he feared, he killed.
I wouldn't have thought you, of all people, would bother with recriminations for Brandon's death, Lord Baelish. Not after your, shall we call it, duel with him.
This is fun.
Brandon was as arrogant as he was.
I feel like we're sitting outside.
I was just
waiting to go into one of the chamber meetings or whatever, council meetings. I hope we get more of that. Last we left, I think Littlefinger was off to marry Lisa, whatever her name is. Dude, when the last dragon died, though, you know these dudes had to know, like, this is pretty much almost over then, right? Like, I'm not surprised this king went crazy and evil and mad.
Yeah.
It's like, balls to the walls.
Stupid. Like his father, Lord
it,
Stark, who answered Aerys' summon to the capital. They earned their fates. But the younger son, Ned, what was his crime? That Aerys ordered his death as well.
What a dick.
Unlike men, families don't die when you lop off their head.
At the very least, you should have pointed out...
This all feels like very foreshadowing because of what they ended up doing to Ned. It's like, you still didn't kill this family, and they feel like they've killed the Stark.
Die when you lop off their head.
At the very least, you should have pointed out that loyal and dutiful Ned was living with Jon Arryn, a proud and over-righteous lord with an impregnable castle and no sons of his own. Perhaps you could have spared Aerys the embarrassment of revolt.
That's a weird
If
throw.
only we'd had the foresight to consult you, Lord Baelish, but I suppose first we'd have had to know who you were.
Burn.
Nobody knew Robert
Still
Baratheon
burning him
either,
in the histories and
yet
lore.
he claimed the right to sit on the Iron Throne.
He had Targaryen blood through his mother.
A pretty dress for an ugly truth. It was war, and he could swing a hammer harder than the other options. When did you know you'd lost, Lord Varys?
When Robert Baratheon killed Prince Rhaegar on the Trident.
Dude, I would have loved to have watched that.
You lost the war when you let Ned Stark slip back into the north. Neither the bloody Gate of the Vale or Moat Cailin in the north have ever fallen. They could have held out for years, even if you'd killed Robert. But you let him slip through your fingers as well.
I told the court that Robert was hiding in the Stony Sept, but the hand of the king wasted too much time searching the city. Something about the glory of single combat. Then Ned Stark's army arrived to save the day.
Too bad Lord Tywin wasn't hand any longer. He would have simply razed the town and been done with it.
Perhaps. And perhaps the rebels would have found even more of the countryside flocking to their banners.
I'd almost forgotten. You weren't always so loyal to the Lannisters during the war, were you?
I did my duty to the realm. When Lord Tywin showed up at King's Landing professing loyalty, I warned Aerys not to open the gates. Prince Rhaegar was dead, our army scattered. The lion does not stir unless he smells meat.
I admire your powers of persuasion, Lord Varys. Few could traffic in so many secrets to so little avail.
Grand Maester Pycelle told Aerys what he wanted to hear, that his old friend Tywin was there to save him.
Then Aerys' old friend sacked the city, and his son stabbed Aerys in the back.
A regrettable, though necessary action.
As were the pardons the new King Robert bestowed on the Royalists. Mace Tyrell, Barristan Selmy, you.
King Robert wisely chose order over vengeance.
Jon Arryn wisely chose for Robert, but Jon Arryn died. Then Robert, then Ned. So ended their glorious revolution.
And Westeros has been burning ever since.
Let it.
True.
How Targaryen of you. One of the mad ones.
Fire turns even the proudest oaks to ash, leaving newer roots space to climb.
That was a really good segment. Dude, it would be such a, like, people would hate, like, them for doing it probably, but, like, I want to see all this happen. Like, I love all these stories and knowing all the characters later. Like, I want to see it all played out and, you know, younger Jamie killing people, younger Robert as an actual fucking swinging badass. Oh, man. There was a lot that happened in there I wanted to talk about, but I hate pausing because I'm enjoying.
Mudmen. Bog devils. Those are just the most pleasant names our fellow northerners have for us.
In the rainforest?
The Crannogmen who live in the swamps of the Neck. Because we do not live in castles like them. Because we do not farm like them. Because we are not tall or rich like them. But through our veins flows the same blood of the first men. And, at times, maybe something more. We still live much as they did, on floating islands in houses of thatch and woven reeds. We fish, hunt, and tell our children of our heroes. The knight of the laughing tree who fought in the year of the false spring. The last marsh king who challenged the Starks and lost his crown and his daughter. And other stories, older still, since lost to the world. The Neck was not always a swamp. In the Dawn Age, it was as dry and fertile as the rest of the north. But during the war with the First Men, the children of the forest brought down the hammer of waters on the Neck, trying to break Westeros in two. When the waters finally receded, they left the bogs and swamps we know today.
Jesus.
Many of the First Men decided to fight on, but my ancestors wisely chose to heed the children's power and advance no farther. They beat their swords into frog spears and fish hooks, and settled a land forever devastated by the folly of war. Unlike the rest of Westeros, we keep no garrisons and raise no soldiers for petty spats with our neighbors. Our land protects its own. An outsider will find in the Neck an endless morass of suckholes, quicksands, and green grass that looks solid to the unwary eye, but turns to water the instant you tread on it.
Oh, creepy.
Where is this place? I missed the title. I'm not gonna lie.
House Reed.
Oh, House Reed? Holy shit! So those two. Okay, that makes sense. This place has a dope ass aesthetic to it. I want to see people here.
Unwary eye, but turns to water the instant you tread on it. If you're lucky enough to be armored, you'll only drown inside your own steel. If you're not, you get to meet what swims in that water.
Dragon.
Oh, what swims in that? What is that?
And monstrous lizard lions with teeth like daggers and never enough to eat.
Yo!
Don't worry.
Give this show the budget. I need this. I need this.
Lions with teeth like...
See, this is why I don't watch the seasons before, because, like, if we had watched this and then we're going into season 3 and I didn't fucking see these, I would have been severely disappointed.
Yeah.
Daggers and never enough to eat.
I would have been like, oh, the reeds. Okay, shit's gonna go down.
We're gonna get some lions.
Fuck me.
Don't worry.
Instead, John almost dies. Like, this is terrible.
Only your horse will live long enough to feel their poisons burning through it. If you somehow survive all this, you may find that a well-placed dart can be as deadly as any blade. Not that you'll see us blowing it your way. Since the fall of the last Marsh King, House Reed has ruled the Neck beneath the banner of a black lizard lion on a grey-green field. We are not wealthy, powerful, or known even to our own countrymen. Our home, Greywater Watch, is no castle you've ever seen. And seeing it once does not mean you'll ever find it again. For Greywater Watch moves. Many would-be conquerors have died trying to find us.
So you don't have a castle?
With war all around and our Stark Lord besieged on all sides, many more will doubtless soon try.
That's smart.
They will look at us on a map and see a stranglehold for the north. And they will forget that the sea itself once entered the Neck.
Yo, there's some crazy lizards out here.
Returned.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, it does feel like a pop-up book. I love it. Wait, I didn't read that. What was that?
Behind the Twins. I know I need to read these. Old Jizz in Slaver's Bay. Jorah Mormont.
All right, old
I think I said that right.
Valyria was not the first to conquer the world.
Oh, I need to get a new picture of that Dario dude, too, because I heard he was recast. Just a different actor, because he was in, like, Deadpool or something. Oh. He was Francis. The guy with the long hair was Francis, like, in Deadpool.
In the dawn of days, the city of Geese opened its gates and poured forth its legions across the continent of Essos.
Fucking geese!
With their lockstep discipline and absolute obedience, they ground entire nations beneath their boots and planted the harpy in every corner of the known world. What they didn't destroy, they chained. Slavery is as old as man, but until the Giscari, it was never an art. The slave lords grew rich and fat as pyramids were raised around them, pleasure houses were filled, and fighting pits were opened. Nobody remembers if the waters around Geese had names before the Empire, but ever since, we know them only as Slaver's Bay and the Gulf of Grief. Of Geese, however...
This is where Daenerys doing her rounds, cleaning up shop lately. All these assholes.
Nothing remains but ruins.
Was before Valyria?
Where end all great civilizations. 5,000 years ago, Valyrian shepherds stumbled on strange eggs. And within a few generations...
Is this somewhere different?
An upstart Valyrian freehold rose across the sea. 5 times did the Giscari contend with Valyria. And 5 times did they go down in defeat.
I think it was behind us.
For the freehold had dragons, and the Empire had none. The best of their legions burned, the others broke. The brick walls of Geese were pulled down, the streets and buildings turned to ash, and the very fields sown with salt, sulfur, and skulls. Yet the Empire was not wholly destroyed. Astapor, Yunkai, and Meereen, once lowly colonies along Slaver's Bay, survived and even thrived.
That was
Valyria had watched the Giscari grow rich and powerful off the backs of conquered peoples, and now the self-styled freehold wanted its turn. While the Dragon Lords brought the world to heel, the slave markets of their former enemy never lacked for flesh. Lamenting the lost empire, the descendants of old Geese grew rich and fat. The doom fell on Valyria, and the...
What the fuck? The package was delivered? Can you check the ring and see? They wouldn't have left it in the mailbox. No?
Not anything yet.
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna go check real quick my front door. Pick up.
Go live. No, but shut the door. No one knows how to shut the freaking door. Pisses me off. Screen door's just wide open. Oh. Alex, that is not funny. He said, just kidding.
Was he seriously just kidding? Was he seriously?
You're an asshole.
You know, I want my $20 back.
You're never getting a package ever again.
Son of a bitch. God damn it.
The Dothraki rose to pillage most of the continent. Lost markets of their former enemy never
lacked.
On my
leg.
You okay?
Yeah, something was on my leg.
For flesh.
Scared me, I didn't know what it was.
Lamenting the lost empire, the descendants of old Geese grew rich and fat. The doom fell on Valyria, and the Dothraki rose to pillage most of the continent at will. But gold-laden Astapor, Yunkai, and Meereen continue as they have for thousands of years, untouched. For even the Horse Lords understand what the Giscari taught Valyria so long ago. What good are slaves without slavers?
This guy. I was gonna say something, and I'm so just distracted now. Dude, imagine having to be a horse lord. And they're like, I gotta go talk to the fucking dragon lord. Shit. Like that's not good. No, that's a fat geese.
When the Doom claimed Valyria, the great freehold fractured into warring cities and upstart nations, ripe for the taking. Out of these swarmed the Dothraki, the horse lords of the plains who feared only defeat and dragons.
And water.
And now the dragons were all gone. Under the great Carl Temu, they sacked and burnt every town and city in their path.
Yeah.
No army could stand against them, because the Dothraki do not stand. The horse lords do not draw up battle lines or hide behind shield walls or lair themselves in armor. The Dothraki charge. Their blades are more scythe than sword, the better to cull the infantry ranks without breaking stride. Even their archers fire from horseback so that advancing or retreating, the arrows never cease. To the Dothraki, a man who does not ride is no man at all, without honor or pride. When the city of Quahor realized Carl Temu was coming, they strengthened their walls, doubled their own guards, and hired 2 full companies of sellswords. The Dothraki were used to glorified farmers with spears. Quahor would show them a proper army, with mounted and armored cavalry to match the Horde's own. As an afterthought, the city leaders sent an envoy to Astapor to buy Unsullied. The slavers had always claimed that the Unsullied were the great Giscari legions come again. Few cared. The dragon-burned ruins of Old Gis were a stark reminder that the age of the foot soldier was over. The envoy had his orders, however, and quickly bought 3,000 Unsullied for the long march back. For Unsullied do not ride. But while they marched, Carl Temu arrived at Quahor. I can imagine how pleased the Carl was to finally face a challenge. By the end of the battle, crows and wolves feasted on what remained of Quahor's heavy horse. All the sellswords had fled. Quahor knew that the Dothraki would very soon break through the gates to rape, slave, and burn at their pleasure. Yet the next day, Carl Temu woke to find, before the gates, 3,000 eunuchs in formation, armed with only spears, shields, and spiked helms. The Unsullied had slipped past the Carl's army in the night while the Dothraki feasted. Carl Temu had many times their number and could easily have flanked the small force. But to the Dothraki, men on foot are fit only to be ridden down. 18 times the horse lords charged, and 18 times the Unsullied locked their shields, lowered their spears, and held the line against 20,000 Dothraki screamers.
Really?
When the Carl's archers rained arrows on them, the Unsullied lifted their shields above their heads until the squall passed. And then they held the line.
It's working?
In the end, only 600 Unsullied remained, but more than 12,000 Dothraki lay dead, including Carl Temu and all his sons. The new Carl led the survivors past the city gates, where one by one, each man cut off his braid and threw it down before the feet of the Unsullied, defeated and shamed forever.
Oh, damn.
Since that day, the Unsullied fill the ranks of cities and households wealthy enough or desperate enough. Sellswords fight for gold, knights for glory, and Dothraki for blood. To a man, the Unsullied fight only to obey. With the right master over them, imagine how the forces of chaos would break against their shields. The conquerors, the madmen, the usurpers.
Yo, she's leading that army now.
Mm-hmm.
She's been leading that army. Literally 300 in Game of Thrones. I was gonna say, isn't that basically what 300 was?
All those people?
300's on our list. Bridget hasn't seen it. I saw it in theaters in when did that come out? 2005?
Is that the one that
4,
says
6?
this is Sparta and then he kicks him?
Yeah. All the memes about it.
I want to see that.
That's on our list. We should
Okay.
we could do that. That would be a fun one.
Men. The
We
usurpers.
love it. We've been playing a lot of Bee Simulator. And Peppa Pig.
A lot of Bee Simulator and Peppa Pig over here. But like at PS5 standards.
Fuck yeah.
The
Nice.
Wargs and the Sight by Bran Stark. I think we're gonna start Until Dawn this weekend, though. I think that's the plan. We're only like a week out from Texas Chainsaw at this point. 2006. So yeah. So that makes sense. I was 14. So when I was 14, I saw that in theaters. So that was 17 years ago. Didn't they like?
Is it
their
year
abs on?
300 or is it 300 people?
I think it's like 300 soldiers versus, but like they're fucking badass or something. And they all got like 12-pack abs.
Nice.
And Gerard Butler.
Growing up, my sister Sansa loved stories with princesses and knights, but I always wanted to be scared. When my turn came,
live in the right place
I
to
would
be
ask
scared.
old Nan to tell us of magic and monsters.
Oh my.
Long ago, when the world
Trees
was
with
new,
faces.
the children of the forest sang the song of the earth, and the earth listened. Magic was strong in those days, and the children could commune with all the beasts of the forest, streams, and air. The greatest of them could even leave their bodies to hunt, swim, and fly in the skins of animals. They were the first wargs. Then, the first men came with fire and sword. They burned the weirwoods and cut down the children.
Sounds about right.
Calling on dark magic, the children raised the sea and shattered the land bridge that the first men had crossed into dawn.
As you should.
When that failed, the children brought down the hammer of waters upon the neck, flooding and transforming it into the bog it is today.
Dude.
After peace came,
I'm sorry, but if you're invading somewhere and they're just using nature to flood you, back off.
I'm gonna head out.
Like, no.
Fuck that.
You're like, we got more swords.
and transforming it
Have
into the bog it
water.
is today. After peace came, the two races shared the land and the children's gods for thousands of years.
Oh, great.
Now comes the good part. Nobody knows how or why, but the magic of the children began to emerge in men. Maybe one child in 1,000 would be born a warg. Fewer still would be born with the sight. Old Nan would not speak of it, and Maester Lewin never believed in it. But with it, the children could know of events far away and even those still to come. Some say the sight was the children's most powerful and terrible secret, and helped turn the tide during the long night. Magic has since fled our world. Among the small folk, any child suspected of being a warg will be left out to die. Beyond the wall, though, a careless hunter might still find his prey has claws and teeth, and a man's mind to guide them, for the wildlings have a different idea of monsters. But even wildlings keep their distance from a warg, because, and here old Nan would lean in close and whisper, how can you tell if the man is wearing the beast, or the beast is wearing the man? Now, old Nan has no more tales, and Maester Lewin will never scoff again. That's fine. I don't like scary stories anymore. Because I'm in one.
It's real life scary
If you
enough,
can admit it.
especially out here. That really didn't give me much more clarification on Bran.
I want to be a warg.
But I do take back. I don't think I see people. People were saying watch these before the season, but like that's spoilery for the season because we didn't really learn much about that till later. So I'm glad the way we're doing this. Children of the Forest are magical Ewok. Children of the Forest sounds terrifying. How's Bolton by this fucking?
Like the Starks, the blood of House Bolton runs back to the first men.
God, I wish it would have
Singers
stopped
call
then.
those times the Age of Heroes. A mask for a savage world that bred savage men. The Lannisters swindled their enemies. The Storm Kings hammered them, and the Starks cut off their heads. In such company as this,
Oh.
were the Boltons really so indelicate?
Was that a
Unlike
devil
some
on his
other
tummy?
houses, my ancestors owned the Bolton words, "Our blades are sharp." They passed down not a Valyrian greatsword,
Oh, yeah, I
but a
would have
knife,
absolutely known.
honed and thin enough to fit between the topmost layer of skin and the tissue below, and peel. For as we all learned as children, a naked man has few secrets, a flayed man none. In those dark days, they say that some of my more willful forebearers would even wear their enemies' skins as cloaks. But no such tokens remain, if they ever existed. Certainly not hanging in some secret room in the Dreadfort, as old wives and fools insist.
Bro.
Yo,
Swear to
yo,
fucking God.
he said that like
You're gonna see
wink,
Theon.
wink, little wink, wink.
We're gonna see fucking Theon just wrapped around this like a guy with a cardigan.
It's just like
in
his
college.
dick, like a medallion on his.
I suspect my house itself was responsible for spreading such rumors in the first place. Few
Oopsies.
weapons are as effective as terror, and this was an age of war. House against house, brother against brother. The Iron Men were on the rise, and never far from our shores. We must have seemed ripe for the taking, too busy fighting each other to deal with the raiders as they deserved. Thus the Starks took it upon themselves as they deserved.
That dude right there,
Too busy fighting each other.
too smiley. I don't know if you guys can see that
What are you
over
doing?
there. This guy right here, his smile's real freaking me out. He's like,
To deal with the raiders as they deserved.
too happy.
Thus the Starks took it upon themselves to unify the North. Under them. They drove the pirates out of White Knife and claimed the eastern coast and married the Marsh King's daughter for the neck. A Stark wrestled for Bear Island and won.
Bear wrestle.
Or so they say.
The Starks kind of like we're always seeing like, oh, the Bolton and like these battles and like Baratheons with their money, and it's kind of like, hi, we're the Starks.
Got
Yeah,
my stick.
going to war. But like then they just destroying everybody.
Silly stories. Blood
Like
and
average
steel on the
Joes,
North.
you know?
The Starks had the most of both.
Oh, come on.
After years of war, my ancestors gave up their barbaric practices and bent the knee to their new kings. Thus House Bolton became what we are today. Loyal bannermen and staunch ally to the Starks.
Nope, not loyal.
And the second greatest house in the North.
Wait.
Man,
Who?
trying to be like the story. I'm thinking of the story of the Castamere and how they destroyed the second richest house.
Yeah.
But now this was a story of the second house, most powerful house, actually getting over on the first biggest house of the North. God, I hope they all die.
Tarth has lulled many a novice sailor into complacency.
Oh, Tarth.
Our lush island sits on calm blue water like an emerald set into a sapphire.
So many
You
sapphires.
would never guess that
They
such
have
a
all
vision
the
is only the
sapphires.
sheath hiding the blade of Shipbreaker Bay, with its treacherous tides, unpredictable gales, and sharp rocks lurking just below the water's surface. The storms that blow through the bay water the Kingswood and Rainwood, two of the great forests of Westeros, and they give the Stormlands their name. Even without our weather, we have more than earned our name in strife. The first Storm King, Durin, started his reign by declaring war on the gods themselves. He loved the daughter of the sea god and the wind goddess, but they forbade the union. At their wedding, the gods unleashed their might, pulling down his hold and killing all of Durin's family and guests, though his wife shielded him. Durin vowed to rebuild, and when he did, the gods again destroyed his home. His counselors begged him to retreat inland, but he would not abandon his war. Finally, with the council of the Children of the Forest, or perhaps a young Bran the Builder, Durin raised a seventh castle that, try as they might, and still do, the wind and sea gods could not tear asunder. Durin took the name God's Grief and called his new home Storm's End.
Seventh.
Having beaten the
Castles of
waters to the
Charm.
east, the Storm Kings turned their gaze to more practical enemies.
Welcome, Berserker King.
Hey.
David's like, Zerker, help. There's no other mods here.
Reach, Riverlands, and Dawn. For thousands of years, the Storm Kings fought the guard.
Roose Bolton did nothing wrong. How dare you? How dare you?
Riverlands and Dawn. For thousands of years, the Storm Kings fought the Gardener Kings of the Reach and various families of Dawn for control of the Dornish marches just below the Red Mountains. The fighting didn't stop until Dawn married into the Seven Kingdoms, a mere 100 years ago. But still, the houses of the Stormlands, such as the Dondarians, guard the Bone Way, the mountain pass into the marches, against any Dornish incursion. The Storm Kings had greater luck to their north, at first. They took the trident from the River Kings and built an empire that stretched as far as the Neck. But then the Ironborn swarmed out of their islands and pushed the Storm Kings out of the Riverlands. No doubt the Ironborn intended to expand their empire into the Stormlands.
We take what's ours.
Before they had a chance, Aegon Targaryen landed with his dragons.
Oh shit, that's
While
like
Aegon
it's
burned
over,
the
guys,
kings of
go
the
home.
Iron Islands, the Rock and the Reach, his fiercest commander and rumoured bastard brother, Orys Baratheon, set out to subdue the Stormlands. No matter how fierce a warrior he was, no one could have envied his task. Storm's End had seen thousands of years of war and never fallen. But Argilac, the Storm King, chose not to barricade himself behind its walls, and gave Orys the battle he must have hoped for. Orys slew Argilac, and took Argilac's castle, kingdom, daughter, sigil, and house words. House Baratheon became the Lord of the Stormlands. Targaryen rule quieted the Stormlands for the most part, until Robert rebelled against the Mad King.
Yep.
His first challenge came not from the crown, but from his own bannermen, who tried to join forces against him.
Oh shit,
Robert struck first, defeating 3 armies in a single day at Summerhall. The victory cemented Robert's control of the Stormlands, and he was able to march on the Reach and Riverlands with no enemy to his rear. Yet not all of Robert's bannermen sided with him.
How do you fight 3 armies in one day? Like, were they just lined up back to back? Because you gotta think of all the traveling. Everything's on foot. It just doesn't feel like there's enough time in the day.
Sir Barristan the Bold came from the Stormlands, but as the preeminent member of Aerys Kingsguard and greatest knight in the realm, Sir Barristan remained loyal. After Robert's decisive victory on the Trident, Robert sent his own maester to care for his countryman Sir Barristan, who had suffered grievous wounds whilst fighting so hard to kill him. Later, when the Kingslayer betrayed Aerys, Robert pardoned Sir Barristan and even took him onto his own Kingsguard. When Robert lifted Mace Tyrell's ill-managed siege of Storm's End and returned to his ancestral home, he realized the dream of all the Stormlords before him, to rule the 7 kingdoms. Then Robert died, and his brother Stannis killed their other brother, the noble King Renly, with black magic. Now the Stormlands again live up to their name, with so many houses burnt on the Blackwater and others currying favor with the Lannisters to seize the survivors' lands. Renly could have saved us. If only I could have saved him.
Yeah, well, it's not
But
your
I will
fault.
teach Stannis a lesson
Shadow
he should have
Demon
learned
came
growing
out.
up in the Stormlands. As lightning gives way to thunder, so too must murder lead to vengeance.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
You know what? I was talking about Brienne earlier. I guess that would be where she's going to turn her attention to, is she still wants to fuck that dude up.
Yeah.
Although I wonder if she'll, hearing about the Starks and how she'll feel about that too. Because
Sorry, I'm a foot of shit.
she wanted Sansa to get, or the kids to get back to the mom. And so I wonder if she'll care about all of that or be focused on Stannis. The Veil by Peter Baelish. Little Peter.
Impregnable. That's how the Vale sees
Stop it.
itself. Shielded from Westeros by its mountains. They call the entrance to their land the Bloody Gate because, during the Age of Heroes, a dozen armies supposedly smashed themselves against it. Even if they'd gotten through, The roads of the Vale are narrow, steep, and treacherous. Half the men would have slipped to their deaths.
I just think of Tyrion being in that prison, that crazy-ass
Shit.
prison way back when.
Or frozen in the mountain snow. Or so the common wisdom goes. Except the Vale has been conquered. Those vaunted mountains didn't stop the Andals who came by the Eastern Sea. The people of the Vale say that Sir Artus Arryn, the Andal general, flew on the back of a giant falcon and slew the Griffin King on top of the tallest mountain. During Aegon's conquest, one of his sisters did the same, flying her dragon over the Bloody Gate and up to the Eyrie, the Arryn stronghold. And the Arryn boy king yielded the Vale in return for a ride on the beast. Do you sense the theme here? The rationalizing of defeats with mythical beasts and the whims of children, instead of acknowledging the root cause, the arrogance of isolation. The men of the Vale are so proud of their mountains, they can't abide any flaw in them. As with the mountains, so too with their blood. The first Andals landed in the Vale as its most powerful lords, the Arryns, the Waynwoods, the Corbrays, like to brag. Through their veins runs the blood of the
like
oldest
superheroes.
Andal nobility in West.
I'm like, who the fuck is the Green Lantern and Juice Beetle, whatever the new guy is?
The Justice Hall, and then they can throw villains down into their open pit behind them.
But through their brains runs an even older folly.
Juice
That
Beetle.
blood matters.
Juice Beetle.
If it did, those pure-born lords should have been able to exterminate the hill tribes centuries ago. But those primitive raiders, whose tribes more resemble kennels than families, continue to plague the Vale, even kidnapping an Arryn once.
That's the grave robber from Repo the Genetic Opera, right there.
I don't think I have a mouse. I do. I don't know.
He looks just
I don't
like
get the
him.
reference, but usually
does.
one or two people get the repo stuff you're always throwing out.
Until Tyrion Lannister, an outsider, no Vale lord ever thought to turn the tribes to the Vale's advantage. That a desperate, warlike people could be useful, not to mention inexpensive. But perhaps the Vale lords consider such thoughts beneath them. After all, the Vale's isolation...
Wait.
Lannister, even kidnapping an Arryn once. Until Tyrion Lannister, an outsider, no Vale lord ever thought to turn the tribes to the Vale's advantage.
The hill tribes. Okay. Okay.
That a desperate, warlike people could be useful, not to mention inexpensive. But perhaps the Vale lords consider such thoughts beneath them. After all, the Vale's isolation does breed an abundance of honor and pious bleating, which governs their decisions
Michael.
instead of foresight.
What?
You got it, Michael. Zydrate comes in a little glass vial. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
Well, he got somebody, so there's a couple. We got
Like a
little
blind
glass vial.
man who can only guess where his horse is taking him.
pork sausages. Are you
Grey
guys talking about
rubber.
sausages? It's fucked up.
Instead of foresight. Like a blind man who can only guess where his horse...
What?
Is that a song?
What?
Grave robber.
It's Paris Hilton, dude. You ripped his shit out. Grave robber.
I can't. Sorry.
Sometimes
I'm so
I
sorry.
wonder why I eat you at all.
I can't. I can't. I'm going back a little.
Not to mention inexpensive.
Shit,
But
love
perhaps the
accents.
Vale lords consider such thoughts beneath them. After all, the Vale's isolation does breed an abundance of honor and pious bleating, which governs their decisions instead of foresight. Like a blind man who can only guess where his horse is taking him. I doubt Jon Arryn had even prepared for civil war when he raised his banners instead of handing over his young wards, Ned Stark and Robert Baratheon, to the Mad King. Honor demanded, and Lord Arryn obeyed. He'd have done the same if the boys hadn't been the lords of two great houses, who could field mighty armies of their own. But perhaps I give him too little credit. After all, if the war went against them, only Lord Arryn had a nice, impregnable castle to retreat into, and he was wise enough to take poor Lysa Tully into his bed to win the Riverlands as allies. Jon Arryn won, then Jon Arryn died. Wisely, the Vale stayed out of all the ensuing chaos. Its crops did not burn or wither in the fields from lack of men to tend them. Its strength was not drained by forced marches to futile skirmishes. In the Vale, life proceeds as it always has. Calm, proud. A world of high honor undisturbed by armies and men of low birth, but high ambition.
Impregnate this castle.
Impregnable.
Dude needs to chill. Like, it's upsetting me at this point.
I know, his voice is fucking creepy, and I just picture his stupid face.
Shagga and Gunther's.
Fake ass
I love Shagga.
Doctor Strange guy.
The generic Doctor Strange. The CW Doctor Strange. The North by Jon Snow.
Jon Snow.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
You know nothing.
As a boy,
No.
looking out from my father's castle,
Yes.
I thought the sun could never set on the north, so vast did it seem. Part of me still does.
You're wrong.
The north is by far the largest of the 7 kingdoms, and can fit the other 6 inside it.
There's a lot of tundra.
Not that the others care. Cold and damp. That's how the southerners see the north. But without the cold, a man can't appreciate the fire in his hearth. Without the rain, a man can't appreciate the roof over his head. Let the south have its sun, flowers and affectations. We northerners have home. Mine was once Winterfell, the ancient seat of my father's family, House Stark, who have ruled the north since the first men and were once the king.
They made him be like sad when he was like, because it should be my family, but then my father's family.
Of winter. Growing up, Lady Catelyn made sure I knew I wasn't a Stark.
Oh, don't make me upset
no
with her.
matter how much blood I shared with her true-born children.
She was rude.
But where their name rules over the north, mine is the north. Snow. Our land stretches from the wall down to the neck, a narrow land that divides us from the rest of Westeros. Legend has it that the children of the forest flooded it in their war against the first men.
Dude, that was a cool
If that's
story.
true, every Northman owes them a debt of gratitude.
Oh my
The swamps
god!
of the neck are as good as the wall for keeping out unwelcome
It's the
armies.
dragon lizard
And if the swamps don't deter you, the Crannog men should. Small, shy people who rarely leave those swamps, and who follow House Reed, the gatekeepers of the north, and among the most important and loyal bannermen of House Stark. Also a bit strange. I heard their oath of fealty once as a child. It's like no other lords, ancient and dark. They swear by earth and water, by bronze and iron, and by ice and fire. Where House Reed holds the gate to the north, House Manderley holds the port, White Harbour, the closest thing to a southern city we have, governed by the closest thing to a southern family we have. Generations ago, the Manderleys were driven from the Reach, but the Starks gave them their land in return for fealty. Now White Harbour is the richest city of the north, and the Manderleys the richest family. Not in gold and silver like their southern counterparts, but in fish, grain, and trade.
Rich in fish.
As for the other great northern houses, the Starks brought them into the fold during the Age of Heroes. The Stark wrestled an Ironborn for Bear Island and gave it to them.
Like, don't tell me you wouldn't watch Game of Thrones Age of Heroes. Give me 6 seasons of that.
Moments. The Stark granted a keep and land to a younger son, Carlon, in return for putting down a rebellion.
Oh my god,
His family then grew up into the Karstarks. Starks fought the wildlings and their kings beyond the wall beside the Umbers of Last Hearth, thus earning their fealty. Boltons.
No, I'm sorry, the Boltons are way too sketchy with that shit to ever just be like, yeah, and then, like, of course they're gonna turn on you. Look at them. Look at that. Come on.
Back then they were the bane of the north. A few were even rumoured to wear their enemies' flayed skins as cloaks. But after centuries of war...
Yes, I don't think... by my estimation, it'll probably be January by the time...
No.
I think it'll be January when we get to House of Dragons.
You think so?
December at the earliest, at the rate, because there's so much. And we have a lot to do with the scary season coming up. A lot of horror movies and plans.
Oh, they too bent the knee.
That's why Twitch just X
And
now.
so how
Oh no!
Yeah.
How Stark became the kings in the north, but never forgot that they weren't the north. When Aegon and his dragons landed on Westeros, the kings of the Rock and the Reach sent all their men to die to defend their crowns. Torrhen Stark knelt to spare his people the same fate. He placed duty above pride, just as my brothers in the Night's Watch had done for thousands of years at the Wall. Many think of it as the end of the world, but it's not. I've seen how the land stretches much farther than any man knows, into the land of always winter where the White Walkers came from during the long night.
Is it like the North Pole,
After
basically?
the first men and the children of the forest beat them back, Brandon the Builder raised the wall and set up the Night's Watch to guard the realms of men. He gave us our oath, our castles and the gift, the lands behind the wall whose farmers and crops sustain us. Southerners may now mock my black brothers as thieves, rapers and worse, and not without cause. But the North remembers why we are there, and if we fall, the South will get a very harsh and very cold reminder.
Well, break it down, boys.
It's not looking good. Gonna find out soon. Who we got next? The Riverlands. Can't speak, just can't speak anymore. Isn't this the guy who lived?
The boy who lived.
Men have fought over the Riverlands since the Dawn Age, though that's to be expected of things that rest below the neck.
Cody
Doesn't help that the Riverlands are between everything and everything else.
Santa Claus is a White Walker.
I know.
It all makes sense. He's
Yep.
using magic.
The Westerland's
they're
gold,
magic.
the Reach's grain,
They come
the
back from the
Vale's
dead.
rock, and the North's snow. House Mud once ruled as the kings of the rivers and hills.
House Mud?
But after 1,000 years, their line was
Mudstone,
exhausted and fell to the
fish,
Storm Kings, who fell to the Ironborn. I suppose after years of drowning at sea, our rivers look pretty attractive to that race of pirates and rapers. Never mind that their monstrous castle, Harrenhal, was too large to staff and garrison. It turned out the Ironborn wouldn't be there long enough to bother. Aegon Targaryen
He is
landed
the
to our
Blackfish,
south,
okay.
and, as had many before him, liked the look of the Riverlands. My ancestor Edmund Tully led the desertion of Riverlords to his cause, and was rewarded by getting to watch King Harren burn in his own tower. Unfortunately, that's not all Edmund got. House Tully was named the Lords Paramount of the Trident, which means we had to keep in line all those lords who hadn't governed themselves for thousands of years.
Oh.
We were now responsible for aiding the Malisters at Seaguard against the pouting Ironborn whenever they got cheeky. For settling Harrenhal on families stupid enough to think its curse would skip them after devouring all previous families. For keeping the Blackwoods and Brackens from wiping each other out, and giving us 2 more castles to deal with. For keeping the Freys in their place and out of others' pockets.
Well, you didn't do a good job.
For marrying off our sons and daughters wisely enough, so we didn't follow House Mud into...
The mud?
Well, the mud.
That-
Yet under the Targaryens, the Riverlands knew a peace we hadn't had for centuries,
Really?
if ever. But like all good things, sooner or later it all goes to shit. And our
There's always just a little bit of them thinking back to the Targaryens and the dragons, like, the good old days, Everyone was kind of chill back then, because they had dragons, so there was no choice.
shit had a name. Aerys Targaryen. Westeros has had its share of Mad Kings, but usually they had the sense not to bully more than one powerful house at a time. Aerys soon blundered into a triple alliance. The North, Stormlands, and Vale rose against him. But of course, where do you think most of the blood was spilled? My brother Hoster guaranteed the answer to that with the marriage of my niece to Eddard Stark, the Warden of the North. At least Hoster didn't send her to Robert. So, the Riverlands joined the war against the Mad King, and it was on one of our rivers that Prince Rhaegar died, sealing the fate of his dynasty. Robert was a great soldier and a horrible king. Drinking and whoring are their own brand of madness when you sit on a throne that everybody wants.
That's was I strong.
He died, and another war started.
He died.
Again the armies marched. Again the Riverlands burned.
Awkward.
If Westeros isn't careful, pretty soon our people will grow some sense and abandon this place for a safer realm.
Ooh.
Like the Dothraki Sea.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, what's going on in the swamps right now, though? Do they still have, like, dragons in the water? They're just alligators, probably, but...
Of course. The
Sounds
Riverlands
like
are our
water
home,
dragon.
and God's help us, we love it.
Gods
Still,
help us.
as they say, the king eats and the hand takes the shit. The same
They
is
say
true
that?
of the Riverlands. The Seven Kingdoms piss, and the Riverlands change clothes.
All right.
Okay. House Tully can just... All right. Just keep going, you know?
Other houses chose dragons, krakens, and lions for their sigils. We Tullys took the trout, that most terrifying of fish, especially when it leaps out of the water. I suppose you don't have many options when you live in the Riverlands. Could have been worse. We could have
an
been
onion.
minnows or wheat. After all, we make a lot of it.
Perch.
Though our land doesn't get as fertile as ours just by water. The old river kings,
sharks.
storm kings, and the kings of the rock
Sturgeons.
spilled blood here for thousands of years, squabbling like children over a new toy, until the Ironborn came and spanked them with their axes.
That dude bald, his head's like super sharp, like it's bright. That's probably the whole white
Under
sky
Harren the
around him,
Black,
honestly.
their
But
kingdom
I'm still
stretched
focused
all
on
the
his
way
head.
to the God's Eye, where they built the largest castle Westeros had ever seen. Maesters teach that Harren was a fool, but he had some sense. If you're going to enslave and torture an entire people, you best have thick walls to hide behind. But the very day the last stone was laid in Harrenhal, Aegon Targaryen landed in Westeros. As soon as he saw Aegon's host on the horizon, my ancestor Edmund led the mass desertion of Riverlords to Aegon's side. I doubt Harren even noticed. The problem with huge castles is they blind you to what's outside, both by their size and the arrogance they inspire. Not that the Ironborn ever lacked for that. They take pride in their ignorance of every trapping of civilization. Though any baker could have told them that fire turns stone walls into an oven. And so Harren the Black finally lived up to his name,
Dude, you could have
and
made
the
some dope
Riverlord swept the
pizzas.
Ironborn back to the sea. In return for Edmund's service, House Tully was made Aegon's new Lord Paramount of the Trident, and all the other lords had to swear us fealty.
Fealty.
But old habits die hard. The Riverlands...
Thank you for the 5, Luff.
Thank you.
You guys should start, like, choosing 3 favorites, at least favorite characters at the start of the seasons.
Oh, fuck.
I was just gonna rank them all at the end of the show. We'll have to discuss.
Well,
discuss some
we can, like,
characters in a
do
moment.
that and then, like, see who let us down at the end, you know?
Possibly.
are
Which is
and always
everybody,
have been the
probably.
middle child of Westeros,
Always
caught
feel
up
like
in
that.
every fart from one lord at another. My ancestors knew that for the Tullys to survive, alliances must be made. Our trout has swum up so many rivers over the centuries and leapt onto so many plates that it's a wonder half the realm's sigils don't have fins by now. Thus, every Tully child is taught family, duty, honor. The Tully words, and pains in the Tully arse. When I returned from the War of the Ninepenny Kings, people called me Sir Brynden. But my older brother Hoster called me Engaged. A great match with a very rich house, to be sure. But I just fought and killed a great deal of men and had no desire to be told when and whom to marry.
I was like, oh, fuck
I broke
this.
ties with him. earning the name Blackfish along with my personal sigil, a much more intimidating black trout. I was too stubborn at the time to realize that while other houses fight with swords, House Tully fights with marriages. Then my niece Catelyn's betrothal to Brandon Stark drew us into the war against the Mad King, while my other niece Lysa's betrothal to Jon Arryn cemented the rebellion. If I'd have obeyed my older brother earlier, we'd have had the largest navy in Westeros with us then as well, and our victory would have been swift.
Yeah.
Of course, I never mentioned this fact to my brother. He'd have taken it as an apology. My brother is dead now, and my nephew Edmure rules in Riverrun. God's help us. A trout that can't tell the worm from the hook. But he is a Tully, and he is unmarried, and there is a war. We all know how this story ends. Maybe she'll be beautiful. Maybe she'll be rich. As long as she brings swords and men to House Tully, she could look like the fish we hang all over Riverrun. He'll honor his duty to family and swallow it. One blackfish per family can be overlooked. 2, and we'd have to change all those pretty banners.
Well, that's though you still got that banner, because I don't think the Tullys are looking too hot right now. Otherwise, The Reach by Marjorie Tyrell.
Ooh.
The Reach is aptly named. We're the ones who give your hands something to do at the table. As the most fertile region of the Seven Kingdoms, we grow the lion's share of the grains and fruit that feed this country. Especially now, since the rebels have burned down the other fields. Thankfully, House Tyrell is here to do its duty to the crown and keep the capital from starvation.
Yeah.
Yet, as with all gardens, weeds grow in the Reach too, though few name them as such.
Who?
Singers fill our heads with chivalry and courtly love, fluff to make boys fight and girls swoon. Oh, the songs are good enough for a pleasure barge down the Manda. They give pleasure to the common people and harmony to the realm. But if the rise of House Tyrell proves anything, it's that virtue and honor have their place. And if you're not careful, that place is the grave.
Oh, shit.
Unlike the Lannisters, Starks, and Arryns, we were never kings in our own right. House Gardner ruled the Reach since the Dawn Age, and we were their stewards. While they warred to enrich their already rich domain, we managed their castle of Highgarden. But then Aegon Targaryen landed with his dragons. Nobody knows why the Gardener King took the field against him. Anyone could see that a man who grows flowers should beware a man who grows fire-breathing monsters.
Yo, that was a bad choice. That's when these people were, that's why the Tyrells, I get it now. They were like, all right, so they're about to lose, so let's they're very good at sort of manipulating in the first place.
But maybe it wasn't wholly his idea.
Oh, wait.
Maybe someone whispered in his ear.
Oh, shit. No, yeah, I was just saying, because they're manipulative. They did it.
About all the face he'd lose with the other 6 kings if he stayed home.
The Tyrells were like, oh, you guys should go out there and fight him, you know? You're gonna let him take your flowers and burn them? Like, come on.
The rest is history. The last Gardener King lost his face, along with his body, and his steward Harlan Tyrell promptly yielded Highgarden to Aegon. My grandmother swears that Harlan was like most of our men, and grew up banging steel together too loudly for a thought to penetrate. But luckily, his wife had better sense. Whatever the case, in return for Harlan's show of sense, Aegon proclaimed House Tyrell the Lords of the Reach and Wardens of the South, passing over all the other houses with better claims.
Fuck them houses.
House Hightower, who were kings before the Andals came, their seat is the oldest city in Westeros. They call it Old Town. Wealthy, proud, and solitary, there have been Hightowers who wouldn't come down from their great lighthouse for decades. Its name, fittingly, is the Hightower. House Florent, who had actual blood ties to the Gardeners. They whinge about their ancient rights to Highgarden every once in a while, and now that their daughter is married to Stannis Baratheon, about their rights to all of Westeros too. Apparently, putting a fox on your banners doesn't impart a fox's wiles. House Tarly, who still gives the Reach the best soldiers it has. If Aegon had named them as his lords, the Reach would have become the greatest military camp in the world, until it starved to death. The price for conscripting all the farmers. Yet Aegon chose us. Centuries later, when his descendant Aerys faced rebellion, the Reach stayed loyal. Mostly. My father, Mace, dealt Robert his only defeat in the war, even if it was my father's vanguard who did most of the fighting before he arrived. After the Battle of Ashford, we laid siege to Storm's End, Robert's home. Unfortunately, the war ended before we could take it and free up our armies to go save the king. The new King Robert had a forgiving nature. Our crimes were brushed aside without even one execution for the sake of formality. Our family was surprised until Robert's new hand, John Arryn, came by with the bill. The Reach is second only to the Westerlands in wealth, and Robert meant to spend as much of it as he could get his hands on. We gave him the coins he wanted, and later, when he wanted our grain or fruit or wine, he gave them back at whatever price we set. Now, much of Westeros is ashes. The rest of it is armies. As the Starks are fond of saying, winter is coming. And for leagues outside the capital, there isn't a harvest to be seen. Have no fear. The Reach is, as always, bountiful. House Tyrell will manage the harvest and keep the Seven Kingdoms from starvation, like the good stewards we once were. Just ask House Gardner.
No, see, you're like a little Lannister trying to destroy houses. And now you're up against the Lannisters.
Right.
Yo, is this wedding gonna go down soon? I want to know what to do. Because I feel like they got to have plans for when she's queen. Like, because she'll actually have power.
Yeah.
House Frey by...
Some houses rise to power through strength.
Some can suck a dick.
Others through wealth. House Frey gained its title through cunning. Centuries ago, its founder looked at a map and noticed how the trident spears the neck, cutting off the north from the south. He realized that a river of gold would flow to the man who owned the right bridge across the water. It took the Freys 3 generations to complete their forefathers' vision. A massive arch of smooth grey rock, wide enough for 2 wagons to pass abreast. When they were done, they built high curtain walls, deep moats, and heavy gates.
I just love, like, these dudes built a bridge. Like, that was their big move. Would have worked, sort of, but it didn't. But, like, fuck you.
Protect the approaches.
And your bridge.
And put up squat, ugly, formidable keeps on either bank. The Twins. Commanding both road and river with arrow slits, murder holes, and portcullises.
Murder
The Twins
holes?
ensure that no one
What's a
crosses
murder
without begging
hole?
the Freys' leave and paying the Freys' toll. The plan worked. The family grew rich and powerful, exacting gold from lords, merchants, and poor farmers. A good thing, too, given the number of Freys the bridge has to support.
Literally just a fucking toll bridge.
The current lord, Walder Frey, has seen over 90 name days and sired near as many children, trueborn or otherwise.
A lot of daughters.
A shameful thing in any other lord, but Walder Frey possesses no
shame.
A dangerous thing for any other lord, but Walder Frey has no concern for heirs or fear of their impatience.
You know what keeps me going is the thought of the story that Bran told in the final episode about how the one thing that gods can't forgive is, like, you betraying somebody under your own roof or whatever. Like, oh god, it's the only thing that gives me some little hope, this little sliver of light of hope.
Perhaps Lord Frey thinks to outlast them all.
Hey, it's a nice bridge.
Given the infighting he encourages among them, perhaps he will. Whatever the case, House Frey does nothing so well as survive. When the Ironborn...
Sorry, one more thing. One of the funny things that he did say in the last episode, the Frey guy, was like, I heard he killed all the ravens, and then I heard nothing else.
House Frey does nothing so well as survive. When the Ironborn conquered and razed the Riverlands, the Freys hid in their castle. When Aegon and House Tully swept the Ironborn back to the islands, the Freys hid in their castle. When my ancestor demanded their allegiance as Aegon's new Lord Paramount of the Trident, the Freys bent the knee from their castle. Perhaps then we should not have been surprised when my father, Lord Hoster Tully, called his banners against the Mad King, and Lord Walder didn't answer. The Baratheons, Starks, Aarons, and Tullys, some of the oldest and greatest houses of Westeros, fought and bled for the cause of justice, while House Frey hid in its castle and waited. No doubt if Rhaegar had won at the Trident, Lord Walder would have given him safe passage into the north
100%.
to destroy the rest of my husband's northern army for a fair price. But Rhaegar fell, and lo and behold, the Frey army appeared to render aid to our already victorious forces. Many sniggered that Lord Walder had been waiting for his army to come of age, having fielded it out of his own breeches. My own father named him the late Lord Frey.
Was Robb a warg in the book? Was he actually able to go in his wolf and be like the wolf that everyone said he turned into? I just kind of realized that, though, how everyone would say that about Robb, like he could turn into a wolf.
Well, do you kind of remember that, like, part when those two guys were like, there's
talking, and
out
then
there?
the wolf came.
The wolf,
the wolf
then it
listened
was
to him
like
very well.
Robb. I don't know. It was weird.
They cut the warging out. Stop warging. There's a war going on.
All the kids were. Does that make that makes sense if the wolves were so popular and like important in the book that your brother says all the time?
The Starks are all wargs. Oh, well, damn. Now we just. You know what, though? I'll be honest. If all of them were wargs, I wouldn't really hardly give a shit about whatever Bran was doing, so.
To the other lord's amusement. A slight that pricks Lord...
Oh, but Sansa? Oh.
No shit.
It's because she has red hair. Is that why?
Walder to this day. In many ways, however, Lord Walder...
Warg on board.
We had no guarantee of victory. And had he fought with us from the outset and we failed, he would have lost the bridge his family was so proud of. More pride than honor. Those should be the words of House Frey.
Oh, yeah, lady died too soon.
Part of me wonders if Lord Walder waited not out of fear, but hope. That we would be destroyed, leaving him to assume my family's place as Lord Paramount of the Trident. To buy the respect...
Oh, that's so fucked up.
They did him dirty. What?
Robb died twice because he warged into his wolf. And then... Oh... Fuck.
Guys, I'm gonna read the book.
Hope that we would be destroyed, leaving him to assume my family's place as Lord.
Is Bran cooler in the book? Tell me that. Stop it.
Paramount of the Trident. To buy the respect they've always wanted, but refuse to earn. No. Not even Lord Walder could be so disloyal.
Really? Shocking. You think that, but you're wrong. All right, Tywin, spit it at
me. The
me.
Westerlands are all bounded by 3 natural defenses. Mountain, sea, and forest.
Water.
Necessary barriers when the land is as rich as ours. From our mines come the gold and silver that fuel the rest of Westeros. From Lannisport, our largest city, come the most skillful gold and silversmiths in the land. Yet geography alone is not strength. The Westerlands would have been sacked and pillaged for thousands of years if it hadn't been for the men who ruled it. My family, House Lannister.
I just want to watch him and Joffrey, like, bitching at each other again.
According to legend, we trace our descent to Lan the Clever, a trickster of the Dawn Age, who swindled the Casterlys out of Casterly Rock, their ancient castle. A childish story, but not without merit. 1, a mind can and should be a weapon in a man's arsenal. 2, Lan must have been clever enough not to rely solely on his wits. After all, where today is House Casterly. 3, by keeping the Casterly name on the castle, Lan reminded the world of the price of getting in his way. The Rains ignored all these lessons. Not content with being the second richest family, they sought to challenge the first, mine. My father had put up with their insults and disrespect. When I came of age, I led our army to teach them what they should have known. Some people say I was too harsh, that eradicating every member of their family was not necessary.
Hold up.
But now, there are no bannermen as loyal.
That's Trisha Paytas.
What? Really?
Sorry.
It was not necessary. But now, there are no bannermen as loyal to their lord as the Westerlands to us. If any...
Are there good audiobooks for this? I love a good audiobook.
Bannermen as loyal to their lord as the Westerlands to us. If any lord bridles at our authority, I have only to send a singer with a harp, and he falls back into line. Because I will not have our lords squabble amongst themselves, like the lords of the Riverlands, or hide in their castles like the lords of the Vale, each of our bannermen contributes a unique skill that furthers the whole of the Westerlands. House Clegane, because every lord needs a beast from time to time.
They're big.
Sir Gregor strikes terror into the hearts of our enemies and our friends. So too does his disappointing brother Sandor, the traitor. House Payne, who provides us loyal servants. Sir Ilyn Payne was once captain of my household guard, until the Mad King heard him boast that I ran the 7 kingdoms, which I did. The Mad King tore out Sir Ilyn's tongue, making him especially well-suited to later become the King's Justice.
Oh, I didn't know.
Apparently these days,
that's why
a younger Payne also serves my degenerate son, Tyrion. House Lefford, who guards the Golden Tooth, the eastern pass through the mountains and the all-too-frequent chaos of the 7 kingdoms. Though after Robb Stark's recent incursions, perhaps we need a new gatekeeper. Fools look at the Westerlands and see gold. Fools see our wealth and call it strength. Gold is just another rock. The Westerlands are strong because of House Lannister. Yeah. From strong leadership comes unity.
So strong.
From unity comes power.
Oh, Joffrey here, huh? Great. Good to hear from you.
That's what the Red Keep is. The small folk say its color comes from the blood Aegon spilled to win his crown. Fools. Blood doesn't soak into stone, no matter how hard I try. Aegon built his castle of red rock to remind people of the fires he'd roasted his enemies in. So whenever King's Landing looked up, they'd see the price of defiance. He knew the first rule of kings. Only fear keeps men in line. Fear and punishment. A lesson he taught his son, Maegor. When the builders finally finished the Red...
Dude literally acts like he's never heard the term the Mad King. Like he's fucking, I have no idea what you're talking about. Everybody loved that game.
Yes. I don't know what I was going to say.
What were you going to say?
I don't remember. Something stupid, probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Hello in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
Keep. Maegor executed them all to keep its secrets safe. Rumor has it, miles of hidden passageways run behind the wall.
I love those two comments. Maegor did nothing wrong. Maegor was ruthless.
Keep. Maegor executed them all to keep its secrets safe.
Oh.
Rumor has it, miles of hidden passageways run behind the walls and under the floors. One day I'll have to find them. Traitors and women work in shadows. A king has no need for secrecy.
Well, you have a
Now,
lot of secrets.
people name Maegor the Cruel, but I doubt any dared in his day. His strength was all too rare in the degenerate Targaryen blood. The simpering Baelor the Blessed created the Maiden Vault to imprison his own sisters and save himself from carnal thoughts. Disgusting. Though, I admit a Prince Vault could be amusing when Tommen bores me. My favorite place in the Red Keep? There's so many. The Traitor's Walk, where I mount the heads of my enemies. It's a shame flesh rots so slowly. I've almost run out of spikes. The dungeons are also quite nice once you get past the first 2 levels. A stable for common criminals and private cells for useful highborns. How boring, I know. But then you come to the black cells. No windows, no torches, just darkness.
I mean,
whatever you hear in there with you. Here we keep the greatest traitors until the king is ready for them, and with these, I often like to take my time. But I've heard rumors of an even lower, hidden level, Maegor's favorite.
Really?
Once a man was taken here, he never saw the sun again, nor heard a human voice.
Is this dude just walking around looking for some mythical extra secret dungeon to kill people in?
He's like Bruno behind the walls.
Maegor's
just been living in the
nor breathed a breath free of agonizing pain.
With the rats
must know the way, but that overgrown girl pretends not to. Maybe he fears I'll make him a victim. Maybe I will. Then again, torture chambers are just so private.
Yeah, you like to torture
Better
in your
to
bedroom.
Punish your enemies where everyone can see.
Oh,
remember.
God.
Like that Targaryen who forced his nephew to watch as he fed the boy's traitor mother to a dragon. Oh, what I could do with a dragon.
Oh, no.
Even Ares, fool as he was, knew to burn men alive with an audience, to spread the terror far and wide across his kingdoms. Of course, I know my favorite place now. When I sit on the Iron Throne, high in the Red Keep, all of Westeros scuttles below me, like insects, waiting for my heel to land.
Like, anybody could take him out. Like, anybody. Like,
oh,
the Lord of Light by Thoros, huh? We're going to talk about everything he did with, what's his face? No. What was the dude? Oh, my God, I forgot his name already.
Fuck. Yeah.
I know his name. I'm
I was
drawing a
born
break.
youngest of 8 in Myr, across the narrow sea. So my father gave me over to the Red Temple. In their wisdom, they decided to make me a priest instead of a warrior or a temple prostitute like other children. It was not the path I would have chosen. Sure, I prayed the prayers and I spoke the spells, but I also led raids on the kitchens. And from time to time, they found girls in my bed. Such wicked girls. I never knew how they got there. Then again, I did have a gift for tongues. And when I gazed into the flames, well, from time to time I saw things. Even so, I was more bother than I was worth. When the High Priest foresaw Robert's ascension, he sent me to turn the Storm Lord to the Lord of Light. When Robert seized his crown, we'd take all of Westeros from the Seven in a single stroke.
Hell yeah.
Perhaps they thought Robert would listen to a kindred spirit, or perhaps celibacy had addled the High Priest's brain. I didn't know, and didn't care. I was free. I did my duty as I saw it. Drinking and whoring and waving my sword around. The only gods Robert cared about anyway.
Which sword, sir?
Years passed, Robert became king, I became a joke. We both became fat. I even won some glory in Greyjoy's rebellion, first through the breach and all that. It's amazing what boldness a full bladder can inspire. But Robert had stopped listening to my sermons a long time ago, even if I'd still bothered to give them. Then came Robert's death, and the war. I'm not speaking of those brats squabbling over the world's pointiest chair.
But which war?
Powers long asleep awaking and moving through the land.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them in my flames. Shit, I've seen them with my own 2 eyes. The Lord of Light is real. And if he's real, then all of it is real.
Uh-oh.
Man once again faces the war for the dawn, which has been waged since time began. On one side is the Lord of Light, the Heart of Fire, the God of Flame and Shadow. Against him stands the Great Other, whose name may not be spoken. The Lord of Darkness, the Soul of Ice, the God of Night and Terror. According to prophecy, our champion will be reborn, to wake dragons from stone and reforge the great sword Lightbringer that defeated the darkness those thousands of years ago. If the old tales are true, a terrible weapon forged with the lifeblood of a loving wife's heart. Part of me thinks man was well rid of it, but great power requires great sacrifice.
Great responsibility.
That much at least, the Lord of Light is clear on. I sound like a dried-out old woman, I know. But as our former hand liked to say,
I wasn't gonna say that.
Winter is coming.
Right.
When the cold winds rise, all men, no matter their faith or lack of it, huddle beside my night fires. And I pray the prayers, and speak the spells, and beseech the Lord of Light to bring back the dawn.
Song of Ice and Fire.
So far, so good.
Oh.
But reprobate as I am, I can't help but wonder what will happen if, one day, our Lord does not answer. Imagine a night that goes on forever, so dark and full of terrors.
Yeah.
Ah!
I think I need another drink.
Vaginas everywhere.
I don't think that's what I meant, but holy shit. This does feel now like White Walkers are the ice and the Lord of Light is the fire, and this is a song of ice and fire. The Lord of Light is real. It's very aggressive, very active. I think I mentioned that. The most active of the gods.
The one that's believable, you know?
Absolutely. Holy shit. We do, unfortunately, finally, have to make some updates. And I'm not happy about it. It's gonna hurt. But I am looking forward to this next season. Multiple editions.
It's so loud.
It's fine. It's fine. There, it's not as loud for them, but it's just as loud for us now. So you can feel in the moment. Today we lay to rest 3 Starks. Mother. Come on, get over there.
Mother Stark.
Get bigger. Oh, don't do this. Honestly, I never learned your name. I didn't really care about you that much.
Wife that I thought was so sketchy. I know. Wives are assholes.
And the King of the North. You shall be missed. Play ball.
Home run.
God, that took me so long. The song's over.
I think you did it a perfect amount of time.
That was harsh. Now, as far as we know, this guy, Edmure, still alive, still in the twins.
With his wife.
Let's double check. Let's double check where we're at. We know John is back at Castle Black. These guys are up north still at Crasters. I'm surprised that didn't ever get figured out.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget.
All of our boys are back at Castle Black, in fact.
The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town. Things are not going well. I'm just gonna line them up out here. You're here with the baby.
Oh, yeah.
All the friends are back, it looked like.
Right.
Now, Bran's ass is up north now.
Idiot.
With the Reeds.
Not Jamie's hand. Yeah.
Oh God, it's fine. It's fine, guys. We're running out of room.
Make them smaller.
No, then we can't see them. I'll just move them over a little bit. We know where they are. Mance is up here in the north. They're up at Craster's. We're up north after passing John and them. It's all gonna... It'll probably change soon. Hodor, you're up here too. That's a little cramped. It's a little cramped. It's fine. These two, I'm gonna be honest.
Just,
I got to figure out where exactly they're going, but they're still.
I feel like they're close to the. Not too close, but
everyone's all bundled up in the
near
the wall at the moment is the problem. So we'll see how much further. I don't know. I hope the north isn't too much bigger, because I'll expand it. It's fine. I don't know if she's gonna be super mad at John. I don't know if John's gonna hear from Sam about missing Bran and him going north. I don't know what the plan's gonna be for anybody. He's gonna say like, "Man,
it's so annoying that they were right next to each other."
They were so freaking close, but Benjen just been missing for years, just years now. Benjen is gone. Well, maybe someday we'll hear about him. All right. Ghost is up there too. Now he's not swimming. Heading down. No one. Winterfell's just gone. Here, the Dreadfort. You know what? You get away from him. Oh, that's another addition we need. I need a Ramsay Bolton picture, because Theon. Yeah, the Dreadfort. It's right here, right up here. Leaders. Ramsay. Roos's ass. I'm gonna add Roos. I don't have the pictures right now, so
we need Theon's PP.
I do have.
We just have a piece of sausage.
No.
What?
We were gifted.
Oh no.
A photo.
Oh God.
Maybe I'll actually have some photos in here.
That's man.
There's a lot going on the Discord. Where is it? Someone made it for us. I'm gonna find it.
Theon is at Winterfell?
Is he though?
An eggplant?
Does it work? Did it work? I don't need that. That's fine. That's stupid. It's so stupid. I don't know who made this, but thank you. I'm gonna assume that's nearby.
No, it's dead. Put it.
It is dead, but it's nearby for now. We'll see how the season starts off. Yes, the end's at the Dreadfort, right up here. With Ramsay. I'm going to get Ramsay added in a little bit, just not yet. Anyway, this piece of shit with Edmure here, we know about that. Littlefinger coming up here to the Vale. That's still a thing. We got Gendry going back to the land of the free and the home of the brave. Davos just keeps narrowly escaping death because Stannis just so badly wants to murder him. His poor daughter's still there with the crazies. Tyrion, I don't know what's going to happen with him. He's really just keeps getting kicked around.
Poor guy.
Sansa, this is just upsetting all around. A royal wedding should be coming. I forgot to put the crown on him. That's hilarious. Varys, I just don't know what the plan's going to be. He's back. Oh, yummy, yummy. Love it. Making more babies. Gross. I don't know where Brienne's going to go. I don't know that Locke here is honestly going to be that important. He'll probably end up down in the extra characters category. Thoros and Beric, not sure. They made it up to the twins, but I don't know exactly.
Head back down.
I think they're heading back south, I'm guessing, but I don't know that for sure if they're heading north or south. So I'm going to have to reference and find out where they're at. Yara is going to head around somewhere to him. I'm going to put her over here. Just assume. I don't know what path she's fucking taking from the Iron Islands to get to them. but she's taking
Mm.
50 dudes to kill and try to get him back. We'll see how that goes.
Wait, you're right. Did we put her over there?
Who?
Roz?
Did I not? Yeah. She was over there. She died before. The only people that didn't really make it were. I also got to get Blackfish and find out where he's at since he did escape. So everything's looking good. I got about 4 or 5 characters I will be adding. And I got to update this guy because this guy's someone different.
No, why? Why is he changed?
The actor changed. This is the guy that was Francis in Deadpool. I don't know.
This man is like Prince Charming.
But he cuts off heads. He really wants to get it with
yeah,
and I think Jorah is not gonna like I said, he is everything Jorah wants to be right now. And just impressing her ass.
Right.
They're hilarious together though, these two. Selmy and him, I find to be funny. Also, the fact that I didn't realize so after we watched the whole season.
Wait a
this
minute.
is the dude from
He's
Interview with
so
the Vampire.
young.
And I'm so excited for Interview with the Vampire season 2. He's badass. Everyone's liberated. She is mother. Good ending for her. But they still got some ground to cover before they can make it all the way over there. Although I think they have ships technically after this now, maybe, that they took this place over. Side characters.
Wait, you have some wolves over here.
Yeah, these are all the side characters and wolves.
Well, one of them has to go.
Oh, no. This one. I'm fairly certain it was this one. Grey Wolf. Or was it yeah, it was Grey Wolf, because Shaggy Dog and Summer are Rickon and the other ones. And I don't know where Nymeria is.
That was sad. I hated that.
Damn it. Anyway, you got... This guy was in season 1, and then he just disappeared. Pystel, I hope he goes to the graveyard. Pod, just hanging out, making the ladies happy. Lancel, just a weird extra Lannister. Jaqen, I'm assuming Arya may want to get to Jaqen. I'm not sure, though. The wolves, and then I never know where the mountain is. He's off doing just nefarious things. Here's the mountain. He's just doing nefarious things for Tywin. I don't know. Man, guys, remember when I was all like, Rob's going to take their house and shit, and they thought they were going to take Casterly Rock? That was a good time. I missed that day. I was so happy and excited and hopeful. Oh, man. Oh, I can't think about it. It hurts so bad. Well, things are kind of almost set. Like I said, I got a few additions, and I'm going to cross-reference. There's a, for those of you that don't know, I'm assuming most of you would, but, there's a spoiler control interactive Game of Thrones map, which is what I'm using to double check, where it lets me, you can do it for the book or the thing, but I have episodes, so it's by the show, and it has the characters, so I can skip, so long as I don't accidentally go too far, to like the episode of the show we're at. So let's go to season 3, episode 10, and I can check on. Oh no! I hope it doesn't. Ah, no!
What? What are you doing?
Rob. Oh, it shows me Rob's journey and where Rob is, and he's up at the Twins, and now he's dead.
Ah!
Well, see, that's why we can't check it ahead of time. We can't go episodes ahead. But I can cross-reference where he is. Like, I can check where Arya is at. Oh, they were heading a little bit east, it looks like.
Ah.
So that's good to know.
This reminds me of, you know, when, like...
So you look at this. I bet you John's up here at Castle Black.
Christmas time, and you're tracing Santa Claus on the map where he is.
It kind of does, but it's very useful, and that's what helps me keep this map in line. This is called, I don't know. I just Google interactive Game of Thrones map, and then it comes up, and it's a really cool little map we got to help me try to keep
I want to
track.
buy the book
And
book
to
set.
update
Book set.
my map.
Game
Is more
of
character-centered
Thrones
with pictures.
books.
Excited, okay.
Ah, shut the front door.
Are they on sale?
They are on sale.
They're on sale.
$33.
For the whole set?
Is there 5 of them? Then yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't finished the
33 bucks. That's cheap as fuck. 1 left. Oh man, I have to order it.
Dude, there had to be so much work going into this interactive map.
Yeah, dude.
But there's some crazy awesome lore and all this. And dude, Westeros and just the lore of everything. I don't know how you could do it story-wise with who would be king, like what timeline, blah, blah, blah. But this world would make such a cool open world game. Like setting with the creatures, with the settings.
Oh, it's so...
It would be so cool.
Tempting.
Bridget might buy the books now. 33 for 5 books.
Because, like, why wouldn't I want a book with Jon Snow on it? Or Tyrion?
The honor of the Starks was quite a downfall.
Look at the Song of Ice and Fire.
What is that? Is that supposed to be Tyrion?
And then this one.
So they're not really that great of covers.
No, but
they're pretty ugly covers. They're based on the show. Which don't look at the 3rd and 4th and 5th book.
Right. Dance with Dragons was in one of those free libraries at the park. I was like, no shit. Oh, it's the 5th one.
How far are you in your other series?
3.
What was that one called?
A Court of Thorns and Roses.
How many does that have?
5.
Well, hey, you can jump back and forth.
And I gotta go.
I mean, you're gonna know spoilers, but it'll be a lot of different stuff.
No, you know how long it'll take me to read one book?
No, I don't think you're not gonna catch up to us in the show. I mean, though, I'm saying you have spoilers for the book since you've seen the show. You know book spoilers, but the book's gonna be obviously so different.
Do I get it?
It's definitely worth doing it. Tyrion in the books is a red flag.
Ones.
That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, Akatar's my shit.
Bridget's been really into that.
I just haven't had time to read. I
No,
need to
we
know
can
what
do a bad
those
game
are.
of
Those are
Ripley,
beautiful.
Game of Thrones
Leather bound. Hold up. These fucking leather bound ones
are $43.
$43 for those. Look how beautiful those are, dude.
What's it called?
Game of Thrones box set. Game of Thrones leather. Ooh. Dude.
Look at that.
Look at those.
43,
Pull those up.
48.
I love these. No.
That's ugly.
That's not it.
These are awful. Give me an image.
Look at that. I want that.
That's a much better than like shitty
I would pay
stills
that.
from the show of characters.
Wait, whoa, guys, don't be confused by casting changes in the mountain.
The mountain, he's such a big guy that I always
thank you
just assume
also
it's the
for that
mountain.
donation.
Oh. Thank you, Cooj W.
The leather are tiny like a Bible. Go to the pictures.
They're tiny like a Bible.
Go to the ratings. Because I saw those. Look how cute.
Oh, no, they are tiny.
But wait, they're cute.
They are, but how hard is that going to be to read? Oh, it's not that bad.
No, wait, no, that's a different one.
Oh, is that a different one? Those are different ones. See, those are the other ones, I think.
Keep going.
That's just one person, I think. No, those are all the photos they have.
No, they keep going. Oh, you bitch. Well, wait, go up and go to the other versions, too. There's like 3 other ones. No. Mass paperback? No. Go to paperback. Go to regular paperback.
To see what they look like?
Yeah.
These are 48. This is $5 more. That's more normal size. But yeah, those are
No, I don't want that. This is okay, I think I just don't care, and I want the leather bound ones because they look so pretty and classy.
I can't spell. These ones are 72.
72. Yeah, go to
Those
these.
are the same ones,
ratings.
though.
Yeah, they are. What do you mean?
Are they not the same ones?
Small.
They really are.
Shut up. How big are the words?
It is.
Wait, I kind of like it though. It's cute.
It's cute, but I don't know if you're gonna love it long term.
I don't think I would care. Wait, go to that. That's so cute. Look how freaking cute those are. I'm obsessed.
Those are pretty dope.
Do you like those? I love those. It's so nice up there.
That's a tough one.
I kind of like that a lot.
It's a little bit of a risk as to whether or not you'll love reading them, because I don't think you'll really know until you're holding it. If like,
yeah, I mean, I don't care. It's a book. It's not a Kindle. It's fine.
For the price.
Your blind ass could never. I have to take my fucking glasses off to read. Okay.
Your blind ass could never. Burn. Holy shit.
All right, where are those at?
Hey,
should I add those?
Should we keep our Game of Thrones reactions the same style?
That's a very good question, Cody.
Do you want to watch it on the couch or do you want to watch it from here?
Those are tiny, but I don't know. Okay, but are they that small? That you have those leather bound and you love them, but are they that small?
It's a lot of text.
God damn it.
They probably speak like
they're so
fancy.
Cool. I love them,
they are
though. Cool. Oh, what edition of the Bible are you reading?
All right. Well, Bridget and I are either going to go watch Across the Spider-Verse, or we're going to sit here and start Game of Thrones Season 4.
Oh, fuck, Cody. What do you mean?
I don't know. We got to watch.
All right, guys. Okay. Please. Oh, can you put a vote in?
Well, for what?
Can you do a poll?
On what?
Paperback or leather bound? There's two. Okay, there's mass market paperback, which is $33. But the same thing.
There's an illustrated edition? I always wanted to get the illustrated Harry Potter books.
Illustrated Bible for adults.
The first episode should be posted next Tuesday of Game of Thrones. I'm either going to start watching it tonight or tomorrow.
Hey, it's only $28 for the first one.
Saturday. It's only what?
28 for the first. Oh, dude, there she is with her dragons.
Oh, the illustrated.
Oh,
fancy.
Okay.
Everyone's 80% leaning leather bound. 82.
Wow.
It's not really quite close. I mean, at the price of $40, I say get them because that's awesome. And it'd be awesome to own them like that. I know. And if for some reason you can't read them, maybe you slowly invest in like more readable secondhand versions just to read, you know?
Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings,
love going to old
blah,
used
blah,
bookstores.
Blah. I know.
I'm sure
Set
you
of 5 books, pack of 5. They're so fucking cute.
Pop-up book of the Bible.
Oh my god. Have you guys seen that fucking the Jesus on the cross, but he's bungee jumping off the cross? Leatherbound, got it.
Leatherbound 1. I don't know where the other 1% went. Only 80% did leatherbound, 19% said paperback, 1% just said
fuck
other.
Right, what the fuck?
They clicked somewhere else. I didn't know you could do that. I have a feeling the tiny ones will end up being tough to read, but they would be really cool to own and to have on the bookshelf. Yeah. So if they are too tiny to read, you can look for them in, like I said, used bookstores to read more, find more readable copies if you need.
Yes. Oh my God. We have
you're only over $100. I believe it. They look so nice.
I know. It's like it's insane. I got my
reading updates. We can read along.
Yeah,
Bridget will post
in the Discord a book club.
Bridget can start a book club for Game of Thrones.
And then like this week you got to read chapters 1 through 85, then 85 through 100. I don't know how many fucking pages.
My brother thought it would be really funny before we start Game of Thrones. He's like, because we were talking like about reading the books, and he's like, let's just say you're doing reactions to Game of Thrones. And then just sit down and just open the book and just start reading. But then don't even read out loud. Just sit here and react and like.
Oh my God.
It's so dumb. Oh. All right. I think that's it. We got.
Oh no,
we have to record.
Oh, okay. Wait, yeah, we got to record something.
But we got to get in the mindset for that and decide if we're gonna watch Game of Thrones or Spider-Verse. If we would watch Game of Thrones tonight, we could, but we're gonna have to watch Spider-Verse in the afternoon tomorrow at some point.
Well, we're going to the movies
After
and
that.
then, yeah, obviously. But you should definitely. Well, I don't know.
Because I gotta have Spider-Verse out Saturday.
Where is it? It's under.
I'm so excited.
Book Club. It's under Book Club. I'll let you know when I get it, and then we can start it.
Story goes. Yeah, because there's so many differences in the first place. Spider-Verse is amazing. So is Game of Thrones season 4. We're gonna do them all.
Oh yeah, don't forget
300.
300. Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll do 300. I'll write it on the whiteboard.
I'm very interested in that for sure.
But we have a ton of horror obviously planned right now that we're gonna be doing. But maybe we'll play some games this weekend, and we will be watching Game of Thrones seasons 4. So expect it starting next Tuesday. Hopefully a little earlier on Patreon.
I'm so excited.
Even if it's not much earlier on Patreon, you'll get episode 2 probably pretty quickly there as well. And I'm excited.
It's almost spooky season.
It is.
It's spooky season right now. Our sheets are.
Oh, Cobweb comes
the
out
Charlie.
Friday.
Wait, what are they?
What are they?
The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown.
Oh,
but
the
it's Snoopy
Charlie
sleeping
Brown
on the pumpkin.
Sheets are on our bed. It's about to go down.
Why you said the seed is strong?
God's the seed is strong.
Will you do Repo? I want to so bad. I want to.
I don't think that's like a reaction movie.
For you? Are you kidding me?
It's a lot of work I gotta
fucking
do.
good.
It's very niche.
It's so good. It's gross. It's gross.
Is it?
Yeah. It has freaking Paris Hilton.
Sold.
Perfect. Then
we'll watch that and House of Wax.
Yes.
Paris Hilton double feature.
Yep.
Gods, I was strong. All right. I don't know. I always want to just like end it like I'm recording a video, but that's not how we do it. No. So I just sit here and I say thank you, and I appreciate you guys. Like this stream if you'd like.
Yes.
And we'll do more movies and fun
I'll be
things.
expecting
yes, somebody really
emails.
wants us to do King Arthur Legend of the Sword as well.
Oh.
People were talking about that.
Hey, we should mention that like
Monty.
The horror thing.
What?
What are we talking about? Like the podcast thing?
The hot takes?
The hot takes.
What about it?
Yeah. We should get people to like send us some on the email or something. And then
I don't know.
We'll
maybe. We got a bunch on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter and stuff too. And we want to do horror hot takes and stuff, but that's a whole nother thing.